Laura, why don't you say hello to all the lovely people?
Hi everyone, it's good to be back.
Yes, thank you. I think this is the third time you've been on, right?
Second.
Second, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. That means
Joey, I'll come back for a third one. That's fine.
Well, that's always good to know. So for everyone who's just tuning in, I'm Erica. I'm the voice behind the camera. And any comments or questions that you have, put them in the comment box, and I'll make sure that I read them to Laura. Any ones that I can obviously get to. And if you have questions about what she's working on today, just ask.
Yeah, today I'm actually we're trying something a little different. I started this painting at home a couple of weeks ago and it just like wasn't working out. So I brought it in to see if maybe I can salvage it.
Why do you feel like it wasn't working out?
I don't know, it wasn't coming together the way I imagined, you know, which happens sometimes, that's life, that's fine. But so I put it away for a little while and I was like, you know, I decided today I wanted to look at it with kind of fresh eyes and see, you know, maybe I can pull it together and create something that I like.
Cool. And I think last time you had a regular canvas, so this is wood, right?
Yeah, this is a wood panel. I really like painting on wood because it has this beautiful grain that it just looks really, really great as a background. And I really like the texture as well.
So do you feel like, when you talk about texture, do you feel like it comes out better on wood or on canvas?
I mean, they both have a different effect. I like working with both. I do like working on something that already has like a color and sort of a pattern. In addition to working on wood, I also work on patterned fabric sometimes, which gives a really cool effect. And I would definitely recommend trying that if you're looking to spice up your painting a little bit. But yeah, I started working on wood maybe a couple of years ago, and I really like it. It's not always as easy to like store, but that's okay.
So for everyone who's just tuning in, our artist today is Laura Caseley, and you're working with watercolors, correct?
Yeah, watercolor and a little bit of acrylic.
Okay, cool. Very nice. So we have quite a few people tuning in already. We have Carol saying hello from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hello.
We have Leah saying hello, nice job, like the colors.
Thank you.
I really don't know, hopefully I said this right. Danielle saying, I'm watching from Regina, Saskatchewan? Something like that, I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, well, how do you say that? That's a tongue twister for me. Dory saying hello from upstate New York. And you have Fagmada saying hello from Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So for everyone who's tuning in, thank you so much for watching Blank Canvas today. We always enjoy the comments, the questions, so make sure that if you have any questions for Laura, you post them in the comment box. I'll try to get to as many as I can today. And yeah, and if we have any artists out there, every time we have a show, I always ask if we have any artists that are watching, what medium you use, and you know, or are you beginner, long-time artist, let us know in the comments. Oh, Ellen said hi from Arizona. Love watching these. Thanks.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have people saying hello from Tennessee, Michigan, and Danielle saying absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you, Danielle. It's very kind of you.
Yes. We've got Texas, we've got Toronto and Montreal in the house. Oh, Nancy said, hi from Philadelphia. I want that.
Oh, okay. It's not done yet. I mean, I can't make any promises, but.
So right now what you're painting is obviously landscape, but then are those like air balloons?
They're gonna be trees, but if you watched the last time I was on, I use a lot of patterns. I like to make a lot of patterns and work them into landscapes and sort of natural forms. So I'm probably gonna do some kind of really obsessive little patterns in all of these shapes in the trees, and then I'll have to put little trunks on them too.
We have Jackie who's saying beautiful artwork. Colleen's asking, do you know exactly what your painting will look like when finished?
I generally go into paintings with an idea of what I want it to look like. Naturally, just like with anything else in life, it doesn't always come out exactly as planned. which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. This one, I'm a little unsure about, but I'm kind of just seeing like where it's going, and it's a little bit of an experiment right now. So I guess we'll all find out together.
That's what I like. We're going on a journey together.
Yeah.
Very cool. We have Juliana saying, hello from Wick, Scotland. I love painting on fabric for quilts.
Oh, nice.
Have you ever painted on fabric?
I paint on fabric quite a bit, actually. I really, really love fabric. I really enjoy it, and I think it gives a lot of like personality to a painting.
Yeah.
And it creates a really interesting effect. So I'll just stretch it like a regular canvas. And I'll usually just buy fabric like online, you know, from like Joann's or whatever.
We have Dory who's saying, are you diluting the paint? And yes, Dory is an artist here and has their BFA.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll dilute it a little bit. This is all water media, so I'm just using water. But yeah, as needed, I'll thin it out with some. If I need the colors to be a little bolder, I'll use less, but yeah, it's just water.
Sin says something different, nice. David said, it is hard to see. Oh no, hold on, sorry, I just missed where his comment went, I'm sorry. David, I'd say rewrite that because I lost your comment, I apologize. Oh, hard to see where you were going, like, because I said it would look like air balloons. But I think like he's waiting to see like how it transforms into.
So am I, David.
Yeah,
so am I,
yeah.
David.
Justin said, I'm enjoying what's left of the weekend. I just woke up a few minutes ago. Well, we're glad that you woke up in time, Justin, to watch Blank Canvas.
Yeah.
Yes. Cyrus is saying good job. And Yolanda is saying hello from Arkansas.
Hello.
And Sin wants to know, what do you put on the base first?
This is coated with, what is this coated with? It's coated with acrylic gloss medium, which is just like a clear coat that seals the wood, because if you don't seal it, the paints will actually just like soak in, and it doesn't look as nice, and it kind of it can kind of like bleed everywhere, so you don't have as much control. So I just use, like I said, it's acrylic gloss medium, and it dries clear. It's basically like, it's a lot like Mod Podge, if you're familiar with that. Yeah, it's just like a clear coat. And I'll do that on, if I'm using fabric as well, I'll seal it with the gloss medium. Or you can, and like I said, you can use Mod Podge too. It's basically just like a clear primer.
We have Elizabeth who's saying, love art myself. It's very therapeutic. This is starting to look awesome, cool to watch.
Yeah, art is definitely absolutely therapeutic. It always helps me after like a stressful day, just to make a little doodle sometimes. It's very calming.
How often do you paint?
I try to do it, whenever I can. Obviously, I work, and I actually do art all day. I do the illustrations for LittleThings. That's all digital. So when I get home, sometimes if I have time, I'll like to do some painting in the evening, and usually on weekends, if I don't have anything going on. So yeah, I try to do it as much as I can.
We have Leah who's saying, I see a parakeet in the painting. Beautiful.
A parakeet?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
That is interesting. But I always say our minds are, they take us into completely creative places, like different places of what we see. So, I saw balloons. I thought they were air balloons.
Yeah.
And then Leah sees a parakeet.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
Anyone else who's watching, what do you see? What do you think you see? We want to know. Tell us in the comments. Justin said she does illustrations for LittleThings. Did she make the logo?
I did not make the logo. No, that was created before I even started working here. I'm actually not sure who created it, but I do a lot of illustrations. If you ever see sort of little dumpling-shaped ladies having various adventures, those are mine.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Cassie says, where can I buy one of your paintings? Well, Cassie, you can follow Laura on Instagram, and you can check out some of her other work.
Yeah,
And
I do a lot of, I try to put most of my stuff up on Instagram. It's a lot of art stuff and occasionally pictures of cats.
just occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally.
But yeah, for anyone who's just tuning in, this is Laura Caseley. She's our artist for today. She's working with watercolors and acrylic, and she's painting on, you said a wood panel.
Yeah, it's like a, I don't know, it's just wood. I think it's birch.
We have Nancy saying, hi from Egypt. I like the color combination.
Thank you.
Justin says, I still see balloons. Justin, I'm with you. I see it, but I know where she's going with it. So it's all coming together. Sherry said, I see the parakeet too. It's the green, yellow, and black one.
This one here?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you know what?
See
I
it.
get it. I do get it. That's really interesting.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
It's always really fun to see other people's interpretations because I think, when you're working on something, you have this idea of what it is, and then somebody comes by and they're like, oh, a parakeet. And you're like, oh, of course.
But now I do see it once it was pointed out, so I do see it.
Yeah, totally.
Joyce says, I do see the parakeet, but overall I see a field with balloons. Yes, we're seeing balloons here.
Balloons, parakeets. Yeah, colorful.
Balloons,
things.
parakeets, landscapes.
Yeah.
Regardless, the use of color and everything that you're doing looks really great.
And I think, I think I'm actually gonna put some little people in this one too.
Ooh, cool.
Because I do also, I enjoy doing landscapes, but I also enjoy figures.
Fernanda says, hi from Belize. I see balloons too. I love seeing your drawing. Looks great. Keep it up.
Thank you.
So Laura, you've been on blank canvas before.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our artists come on and they're a little nervous at first, but right, it's just like so relaxing. It's nothing to be nervous about, right? It's just like,
oh yeah, no, this is great. I'd probably be doing this at my house anyway, so like if I can come in and share it with some people, then yeah, why not?
I like that. And do you mostly paint landscapes? Like what are the variety of things that you'd like to paint?
I usually do a combination of like landscape and figurative work. I do a lot of work with humans sort of in nature and in the landscape. I'm really interested with sort of thematically, I'm interested in like how people relate to land and nature around them, because I think it really informs who we are, like the kind of land we grow up in and the nature that we see.
We have Viva who says so pretty, and June that says incredible brush control. Looks easy, but I paint and I know that it's not.
It takes a lot of practice. That is definitely true. And it also helps to use like good quality brushes, if you're using something that's like frayed or made out of like a cheap sort of fiber, then you're gonna have a bad time. But yeah, so if you're a painter, if you want to get into painting, you don't have to go crazy and buy like super expensive stuff, but I will say, quality really does matter.
Melissa says, I love this artwork, very creative.
Thank you.
So how long have you been painting, and are you self-taught or did you go to school?
A little bit of both. I've been doing art for basically as long as I can remember. I actually don't remember like not drawing, so I don't know why I started. I guess it was just sort of a compulsion. But then I started painting probably when I was about 7. My dad actually taught me to paint. My dad likes to paint, so he would let me use his stuff. And then, yeah, when I was older, I did go to school for art. I have a bachelor's in art, which was also a very really valuable experience too. So yeah, so I've been doing this my whole life.
Gail wants to know why do you keep covering up what you just painted?
What I'm doing is building up layers of color, which creates if I only did one color and one coat, it would look really, really flat. So this builds up a couple of different layers of color, and it just gives a little more depth to the painting. And then as far as these bushes that I covered up, because I didn't like the color, that's a much more simple answer. Yeah. Sometimes sometimes you put something down and you're like, yeah, that doesn't really work, and that's fine. That's part of the process.
We have Ruth who says whimsical. It's whimsical for her, so.
Whimsical. Yeah. That's a really good word.
Magdalene saying that's nice, and Jewel saying Bob Ross.
Bob Ross is like my hero, so yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, how many people in the comments, if you like Bob Ross?
Everybody likes Bob Ross.
Just say Bob Ross. Just post his name right in the comments. I feel like a lot of people do bring up Bob Ross and like his technique.
Yeah.
And
I love Bob Ross. Bob Ross is like, he's wonderful, and I also really
like he taught us all how to paint.
Yeah, and I also really love his philosophy that anyone can paint, and that you don't need to have some kind of mystical like talent. That you can learn, and that it's okay to make mistakes because that's how you learn. So I always just really liked his philosophy on making art. And he also always had like adorable animals with him. So that was always really fun too.
We have Elizabeth saying, do you always use the same brush?
I have a bunch of different brushes. I have a collection of them here if you want to see them. That's actually not all the brushes. I have many more at home. So depending on the scale of what I'm doing, I'll use a larger or a smaller brush. And then as far as brands, I don't really have a favorite brand. I just use whatever works.
We have Sherry saying, I don't have a favorite artist, but used to watch Bob Ross paint his happy little trees.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the main thing. People remember the trees and the birds.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember the birds.
And he always painted like more than one tree because they needed friends.
Dory said, I used to call him Fuzzy Bob. And,
that's a very apt name.
But people are saying Bob Ross, like I said, if you like Bob Ross, say it in the comments. We have Carl saying Bob Ross, Eloisa saying it, Bob Ross, Jackie saying I love Bob Ross.
Yeah, everybody loves Bob Ross.
So I mean it's pretty unanimous. And Arletta saying you make it look so easy.
I mean, like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and even now, there's always little challenges and little mess ups. I'm also much closer to the painting than a lot of people, so I'm like, oh, that little squiggle shouldn't be there. But you're always your own worst critic.
That is true. So for everyone who's just tuning in, our artist for today on Blank Canvas is Laura Caseley, and she's using watercolor and acrylic on wood panel, and she's drawing landscape, and she's going to add some human figures in it. And if you think those are parakeets or air balloons, we're all wrong. But it's just what we see. It'll eventually turn into trees.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You have a different interpretation. It's not wrong.
Yeah. Sherry said I admire The Last Supper and Mona Lisa.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those are classics.
Any specific art that you admire?
I mean, I like all kinds of art, and what's really cool about, like, especially social media and Instagram is that you can see all kinds of artists from all over the world. When I was younger, I really loved, like, Renaissance work. Caravaggio was one of my favorites when I was a kid, and he still is, but I like all kinds of stuff. And people are doing really, really interesting things with all kinds of different media and different materials. So there's always something to discover.
Alice likes the purple hues that you're using, or that you've used. And Maya says, "Hi Laura, so pretty."
Thank you.
Yeah, I love the use of colors. So for everyone who's just tuning in now, can you talk to them a little bit about like how you got started on this painting? And you made a comment earlier saying you kind of were like maybe frustrated with it?
Yeah, so I started this painting a couple of weeks ago at home, and it just was not working out. Like, I was just like, what am I doing? What is happening? So I put it away. Sometimes I feel like if you stare at something too long, like you're not able to see it anymore, and you kind of have to take a little break from it. It's like when you say a word over and over and it sort of loses its meaning. It's kind of like that, but visual. Yes. And so sometimes, and this happens all the time, you know, I'll start a painting and I'll just be like, what am I doing? And I'll just put it away and I don't look at it I tell people that, we're not speaking right now, and then I'll bring it out later and I'll have a better idea of what to do, because you're kind of looking at it with like a fresh eye. So that's what happened with this painting, but I brought it out because I really do want to complete this painting. So I figured it would be a great opportunity to bring it here, and also, say like, because art can be really frustrating, and I think people get discouraged a lot if it's not perfect, the minute they start it, and like that's fine. It's a process. It's a learning process.
Has there ever been a piece that you started and you still haven't finished?
Oh yeah, yes. I was actually going through my desk at home, and I found stuff from like years ago that I never finished, and I probably won't finish, which is fine. Like that, those pieces probably will never go anywhere. So, it happens. There's also a painting in my mom's basement that I've literally been working on for like 4 years, but that'll get done one day.
Oh, we have Dixie saying, I love the purple and olive. I really do like the olive color. It's really nice.
I don't even remember where I got this color. It's Golden's green gold. But it's great. I've been using it a lot. Yeah.
Sherry says that she likes the red. And Monique says super.
I like how everyone has like different favorite colors.
And Michelle says hi from Boston.
Hi, Michelle. How's Boston?
And you said you just tuned in, and yes, she's demonstrating. That's Laura Caseley here. She's our artist for today on Blank Canvas, and she's working with, you said, watercolor acrylic on a wood panel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're slowly getting there.
JL wants to know, are you using acrylic paint right now?
Right now I'm actually using a mixture of watercolor and acrylic. Because I get the kind of watercolor that comes in a tube, so it's actually quite thick when it comes out, and it mixes with acrylics really well. I used to use oil paints much more, but I live in a very small apartment, and oil paint is toxic, so it's all water-based right now.
Mm-hmm. So when this painting's officially done, once you're done putting everything on, do you like spray the wood with anything? Like, what do you put on it?
I have a spray seal. I'm actually running out. I need to get more, but I have a spray seal because this is watercolor. When watercolor gets wet, it will run. So to protect it, it's just an acrylic spray. But I don't want to apply it with a brush because it'll smear. So I'll bring it outside and spray it. If you're gonna spray something, always do it outside, be safe. And it actually helps with the color too. It makes the colors just look a little bit brighter.
Well, Margaret says the colors are beautiful and wish I had her talent.
You can do it, and I'm sure everybody has talents in their own ways. So gonna take a lesson from the Bob Ross philosophy and say that everybody can paint. Everybody has an artistic
Everyone
vision.
has talent.
Yeah.
They're creative.
Yeah.
Jackie says, love all the colors. They work well together. And Mickey wants to know, did she do anything to treat the wood first?
Yeah, I put on a coat of acrylic gloss medium, which is just a clear coat of acrylic to prevent the paint from soaking into the wood. It's kind of like priming a piece of furniture if you've ever painted like a dresser or something. But usually what I do is I'll sketch it out in pencil, then I'll put the seal on so that the pencil lead doesn't muddy up the paint, and then I'll paint on top of that.
Oh, Paul says, hello, Laura.
Hello.
And Dory says, not to mention, this is going back to the oil painting, oil needs time to cure.
Absolutely, yeah. It takes a long time to dry and to cure. So it's just not practical. I love oil paints. I absolutely love working with oil paints, but right now it's just not practical. So, maybe when I move into a fabulously large apartment, I can have a studio.
Winona says, love it. And Lisa says, looks like floating colorful Easter eggs.
Easter eggs, okay. I love all these interpretations. We have parakeets and balloons and Easter eggs. I guess they could be like lollipops too, I guess.
That's true. Could be lollipops. Elaine says, do you have something in mind, or are you just going with what happens as
I have a general idea of what I want to do. This one is a little bit more nebulous, I think. So we're gonna see what happens. It's a little more experimental.
Now, Laura, you said earlier in the show, you don't only paint landscapes.
No, I like to do, I really like painting, you know, human figures and sort of little characters and everything.
And you'll be adding human figures to this
yeah,
painting, right?
I don't know. It's probably really hard to see because they're basically just lines, but they'll be here in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just, they're really lightly drawn on with pencil, so you may not be able to see it.
So I see you adding some red to the bush.
Yeah.
What's happening there?
I'm just adding a little bit of a like polka dot pattern to this bush. They can kind of be like, they're like berries, but they're a little abstracted. I love patterns. I love like fabric patterns. I'm just always fascinated by like repeating images, I guess. So I love working with it.
Elizabeth, to answer your question, I know you said you're saying hello from Quebec City and she loves what you're doing. We're here in New York City at the LittleThings Studios.
Yeah, we're in Manhattan.
Jeanette says nice. And Lise wants to know, do you sell your paintings, and if so, where?
I do. I usually, you can contact me through my Instagram. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. And in addition, I also do prints. If you don't want like the actual bulky painting, you can get a little print.
Very nice. Jackie wants to know, do you ever paint animals?
Sometimes. I think I did a painting not too long ago that had a bunch of like sleeping animals in it. But I typically stick with like humans and trees. But animals are really fun to paint. I don't know, maybe I should branch out. Maybe I should do more animals.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people always ask for that too. Like,
yeah,
like
I mean, everybody loves animals. Like, you know, they're always really sweet, and I think that we also kind of identify with them a little bit, you know.
Very nice.
Yeah, like I said, this one's a little experimental, so I'm like, what do I do next?
You just got to go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like you said, you were stuck on this at home.
I'm kind of just letting this happen right now. Like, I don't really know where it's going, but that's kind of fine. There's a certain freedom in that, you know, if you're not overly like obsessively controlling things. You can just like, I don't know, maybe I'll put this here. And then you put your hands on the painting and you smear it. Yeah.
So what do you? I know you've used various types of mediums, but what do you feel is your favorite to work with? Because I know you used watercolor, acrylic, and you said you used oil before.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Oh, that's hard. Like they all have characteristics that I really, really like. There is a lot you can do with watercolor. Watercolor can be a little tricky because it's not very forgiving. Like once you put something down, it's very hard to cover it up if you don't like it. But I enjoy watercolors. Oil is just really beautiful to work with. It has this really, really lovely texture. I don't know. It's so hard when people ask me for things that are my favorite. I'm like, I like everything. So.
And what's the largest piece you've ever worked on, if you can remember?
Oh, I think I did a pair of paintings that were like 5 foot by 3 foot. So there were 2 of them. They were very large. I had to strap them to my car to like bring them places. That was fun.
do you ever teach classes, or would you?
I've never taught a class. I'm not, I don't know. I would do it, but I've never done it before, so I don't really have like a lot of experience in that area. But I'd be open to it.
Okay, so I'll be your first student.
Okay.
Because I really want to learn how to paint.
Yeah. Well, step one, you paint. That's, that's kind of how you have to do it. You just have to jump in and just do it.
But I need you to guide me, Laura, so you can tell me what I'm doing, if I'm doing anything wrong, or how to even build. You got the question earlier about why do you keep painting over the same thing, but I wouldn't even think about the fact that it's to add texture.
Yeah,
that wouldn't even cross my mind.
A lot of it is, you really just learn by doing it. You just have to do it. I know people. I've met people like in classes that I've taken. They're really like, just looking at a literal blank canvas like freaks them out, and they're like, I don't even know where to start. But you just have to do it. You just have to be like, all right, I'm gonna do it. If I mess, if you mess up, you paint over it. It's fine.
We have Kayo saying hello, and Joyce said I can't find you on Twitter. You're on Instagram, correct?
Yeah, I actually.
Do you have a Twitter?
I don't have a Twitter. I try to stay away from Twitter. I don't know. It's not my thing, but I am on Instagram.
Yes. So Dory,
so find me there.
Yeah, Dory, you can find Laura on Instagram. Her information will pop up periodically throughout the show, so you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, and my Instagram also has a link to my website, so you can just find everything through there.
And for everyone out there who doesn't have an Instagram, Laura's page is public. So when you go on, you can still check out her work, and then you can still see in her bio, like she said, she has a link to where you can see more of her work and purchase it as well.
Yeah.
So you don't need an Instagram in order to see her Instagram and get the rest of her information.
Yeah, it's public, so you can see everything. I'm an open book on Instagram. I'm not. It's just paintings and cats. But
Cassie says, I love the polka dots on the bush.
Oh, thank you.
Me too.
Yeah, I really enjoy, like I said, I really enjoy creating patterns and making like tiny obsessive details that I will spend hours on. So it's sort of meditative, I think.
Elizabeth wants to know, do you use the paint as it is, or do you use a thinner or mix?
I use it fairly straight if I do need to thin it. These are all water-based, so I'm just using water to thin it. So it's like super easy cleanup, which is the best. When I would use oil paints, I would use like a turpentine to thin it, which is doesn't smell great. So we're doing water today.
And Elizabeth wants to know, can we see your palette of color?
Sure. I don't know if you guys can see.
Maybe hold it up a little
I can pick it up. Yeah, it's on foil, so it's kind of shiny. I usually just do it on a piece of tin foil because it's really easy to clean up. But I have a pretty good variety of colors. White's usually the most important one.
Elaine says, very relaxing to just watch her paint, and that she likes your painting.
Thank you.
It is really relaxing, actually.
It's relaxing to do.
Diane says, pretty. I agree.
Yeah, I think it's starting to come together, and I'm not like, I don't have to be mad at it anymore.
So for everyone who's just tuning in, our artist for today on Blank Canvas is Laura Caseley. You can follow her on Instagram and look in her bio, and you can also see her website where you can take a look at some more of her work. And if you want to purchase anything or you have any questions, feel free to reach out to her.
Yeah, totally. And if you do artwork, totally, if you have an Instagram, you can tag me and I will check out your art because I love seeing other people's artwork too.
Zan said, this picture looks so fresh, like refreshing.
Huh,
yes.
Wow.
Oh, I love that blue that you're using.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this blue right now. Yeah, sometimes it's fun to just like really go nuts with colors. Like it's, I don't know, it's just fun. And that's really, I think, that's really what you should be focusing on. If you're doing art, you should be having fun with it. It should be an enjoyable experience, you know, because if it's not fun, you know, why do it? So.
Exactly. Are there any specific colors that you feel like you're drawn more to that you like to use?
Lately, and I think I said this the last time I was here, I've been really using a lot of green. I don't know, maybe it's just like a spring thing. Like I've just really been into green. I also really, really like this teal color. It's a really fun paint to use because it's super opaque. So I can just make lots of teal. And I think I'm going to use more teal right now. But that usually changes. I go through phases with colors. So.
But do you feel like it's based more on the season, possibly?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've been into like using a lot of green stuff even in the winter. So I don't know. Maybe it was a subconscious seasonal thing. I also do like green, so you know.
Oh no, actually that's one of my favorite colors, so I can see why you're drawn to it.
Yeah,
especially for
nice.
Landscapes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect, and especially like, you know, the landscape around here in the Northeast is super green, especially at this time of year. So, I guess I'm, you know, reflecting that a little bit.
Do you normally, there's some people who still want to, and I believe I might have asked this earlier, but for anyone who missed it, some people want to know, do you usually paint on wood, or what other things do you like to paint on?
I also paint, I really like painting on patterned fabric, you know, just like quilting fabric that you can get at like any fabric store or online. I really enjoy working on that because it just adds a really interesting like texture and pattern to the painting. But I have been painting on wood. They're not always this large, but sometimes they're much smaller. But I really like painting on wood. I love the grain of it. I like seeing that like through the paint. So, and you know, and I will also work on a regular canvas too. Although I think lately I've been doing more stuff on wood.
And besides painting, do you ever like sketch or use
charcoal,
pencils, anything like that?
I carry a sketchbook with me like all the time. So anyone who ever picks up my bag is like, why is your bag so heavy? Because it's the sketchbook. But I use it just if I get an idea, I can sketch something down really quick. Sometimes, you know, I usually use the sketchbook like for ideas for larger pieces. So a lot of the images will probably only make sense to me, but I use it as a reference too. I think this is sketched out in my sketchbook somewhere.
Do you feel like you sometimes do that? Like you'll sketch out something first and then you're like, let me make it into a larger piece?
Yeah, sometimes, or I'll get an idea, and sketching helps me sort of like map. It's almost like a map, so I know like where everything should go in relation to each other, so that it looks balanced and it looks, you know, like an actual composition. Because sometimes, you know, you have these ideas, but you're like, you just need to have a place for everything, and it just helps with the planning a little bit. I'm actually, I know it's a sort of a stereotype that artists are just like, oh, I just did this, but a lot of planning goes into my paintings.
Yeah.
I plan a lot, sometimes even down to like the dimensions and how large I want it to be and what shape.
Laura, are there any, like name your top 3. Now I know if there are any because you've been on the show before, so I know you definitely have.
Top 3.
What are your top, like, who are your top 3, like, artists that you look up to?
Oh, wow. Oh, that is the
on
hardest question.
Yes, I love asking artists this question.
It's a real, let's see. I don't know. I mean, I'll probably always go back to like Renaissance era, like Caravaggio. He's kind of the end of the Renaissance. I just really like the way he captures people's expressions and sort of details. They're very lifelike, and his paintings, they just have a lot of character, and they tell. He used to use just like regular people off the street as his models. So you see these like real people, you know, they're not idealized or anything. And then I guess, let's see. There are a lot of artists that I look at that are like modern artists. There's an artist called Tara McPherson. She does a lot of really illustrative work.
Okay.
Her work's a little like, it can be a little bit spooky, but it's always really pretty, and she uses these like really bright, vibrant sort of like bubblegum colors. They're really interesting pieces. And then my third one, oh boy. You're putting me on the spot, Erica.
I like to do that because it makes people think about it. Because I know there's probably so many artists that
I know. I'm running
really
through all of them
at.
in my head, and I'm like, oh God, what about that one though? Let's see. There's an artist that I've been following on Instagram. Her name is Alex Garant. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But she does portraits that sort of look like they're refracted through like broken glass. So they have like these like extra eyes, and they're really interesting to look at. They may make you a little bit dizzy, but like in a good way.
Actually, I like that. I like the way you just put that. With extracted glass. I like that. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, it's they're really, really interesting, and the technical skill is also like really insane because she's not only painting a person's face, she's painting a person's face that's been sort of like distorted and repeated. So it's really, really interesting.
Have you ever painted on glass?
On glass?
Yeah.
No, I have not. It would be really difficult to do because glass is super, super slick. So a lot of the paint would just like smear off, which is why people paint on surfaces like wood and canvas, because that has a little bit of a tooth to it that can actually catch the paint. But if you've ever painted on something that's super smooth and super slick, you end up like smearing a lot of the paint off.
We have Alex saying, oh, pretty colors. And Maria saying, gorgeous. Zan saying, this is relaxing. And Alex asking, what is your favorite color?
Oh, that's an even harder question than like who's my favorite artist. I don't think I have a favorite color. I think it's more like what color is appropriate where.
Yes.
You know, it's the right color. It's not like a favorite color. If you look at my wardrobe, my favorite color is black, so.
But I never see that in your paintings.
Yeah, my paintings are more colorful than I am.
Juan wants to know, do you ever travel to different places just because you want to basically paint that landscape?
Sometimes I like to kind of like, if I'm out, I'll usually I'm always checking out like landscapes and just sort of where I am, and I don't know if I've ever traveled somewhere specifically to get a feel for that place.
Okay.
You know, sometimes if I do need a reference, like say I want to paint something that's like a desert, and I don't live in the desert, so I'll look it up. Sometimes I will just like look it up online, just get a feel for what that landscape kind of looks like.
Wendla says, love the deep colors.
Yeah, I'm having fun with these. This is probably one of the most colorful paintings I've done in a very long time.
So how much more do you feel like you have, and how much longer do you think it'll take you to finish this piece?
I don't know, probably maybe like a couple of days to a week, because I do want to put like a lot of little patterns and stuff in here, and that's time consuming. Plus, you know, like life gets in the way.
Yeah.
You know, there's always the mundane stuff that you have to do. But yeah, I don't know, a couple of days probably. I'll probably work on it tomorrow.
Well, Laura, that's all the time we have for today.
Okay, great.
I love that you returned to the show.
Yeah,
You're
thanks
awesome.
for having me again.
And I made a mistake earlier and I said you were on 3 times, but really this is your second, so we definitely have to have you back for a 3rd time.
Right, yeah.
So for everyone who's watching, this is Laura Caseley, our artist for today on Blank Canvas. You can follow her on Instagram, and in her bio, you can check out her website.
Yeah, and show me your artwork too, if you guys make art.
Yeah, show Laura your artwork as well. Tag her if you're on Instagram, tag her in some stuff, or send it in an email, contact her. And if there's a piece that you like that you want to purchase from her, feel free to reach out to her and do that. Thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back on Sunday at noon Eastern time. Laura, thank you so much. You're awesome.
Thank you.
And I hope everyone has a happy Saturday.
Yeah.
Bye.